In this episode, we climb to new heights and the altitude kicks our butts. We're forced to make a decision that derails our entire trip and sends us on a path that we never expected. That leads us to places we never dreamed of seeing in the mysterious, far wild west of Tibet.
If you missed the last episode, we are about to leave the capital of Tibet, Lhasa. And long story short, we are faced with a difficult decision. Which direction are we going? The reality of this type of travel is that we're at the mercy of geopolitical events outside of our control, but hey, it's all part of the adventure. And we left Lhasa with a firm decision and many, many miles ahead of us. So let's fast forward a bit to when we finally had time to set up the camera and explain our plan. And if there's one thing you should know about us, it's that when we're presented with two choices, we're pretty good at finding the secret third option.
Hey everyone, so this is our last high pass in Tibet. I think that we're at about 5,200.
5202.
Yep, we almost did 5,700 just the other day. And yeah, we're on our way to a little town called Gar. Which actually will be our last stop in Tibet because we've had to make a bit of a change of plans.
Yes, our initial route plan from China to Tibet was then to drop down into Nepal, North India and through to Pakistan. However, if anyone's unaware, as of May, the India-Pakistan border is completely closed and not looking like it's going to reopen anytime soon. We don't want to go into Nepal and India and risk getting stuck. So unfortunately, we've had to sort of cross those two countries completely off our itinerary and head straight for Pakistan.
Yeah, from where we are, we're actually really close to Pakistan, but due to China's strict rules, there's about 600 kilometers of road that we cannot ride through. No tourists can, there's no way around it, and the only alternative is a 7,000 kilometer big loop around, which would be really expensive, and I think it takes 17 days minimum. And really hectic road conditions. So we found our own sneaky little way around. We're going to put the bike on a truck, and unfortunately we're going to have to take a flight and meet it in Kashgar, and then we'll be on our merry way to Pakistan from there.
Okay, so let's rewind. We've just left Lhasa and the decision has just been made. And it sucks that we can't go to Nepal and India. But with this new plan, it means that we get to spend more time and go to places in Tibet we never planned on going. Places even our guide has never seen. This means weeks of sustained elevation and heights that will push us and the bike to its limits.
Our visit to this monastery was spontaneous, and unlike the large temples in Lhasa, the monks aren't used to hosting tourists. We felt a little awkward, like we were turning up to someone's house unannounced, but everyone was so kind, and we had a whole impromptu guided tour. Thank you.
One of the great advantages of being able to spend more time in Tibet is that we can slow down and soak it all in, to get a feeling and understanding that would otherwise be missed, to get a real insight into the attitude, way of life, the slow-paced rhythm. With that said, it can be a really hard place to live with an inhospitable landscape, but also an unrivaled beauty that can change from dry desert to green fields, then huge emerald lakes that feel like you're by the sea.
It looks like the Mediterranean. I'm blown away by the colour.
I reckon it looks like Shark Bay.
Or like Shark Bay Peninsula, yeah. It's insanely blue. It's in the middle of nowhere. We are way up on the Tibetan plateau right now.
Sorry, there's another one over there as well.
There's another one over there as well.
And there's a little coffee truck down there, which was sick.
It was sick. All day today we've been driving over the high grassland plateau
5,000.
in sort of central Tibet, yeah, hovering around 5,000 meters all day, so we're feeling the altitude. And now we've seen probably the most beautiful lake I've ever set eyes on.
It is mind-blowing to feel like you're at the beach when in reality you're 5 kilometers above sea level and just about as far away from the ocean as it's possible to be on planet Earth.
Lucy found some antelopes. Got me lots of them.
Even in very rural Tibet, there are lots of police checkpoints and rules for foreigners. But a few extra permits secured in Lhasa meant we could venture out beyond the pristine highways and constant surveillance. Leaving the lakes region, we joined a little used dirt track that cuts almost dead south towards the snowy peaks of the Himalayas. For a couple of days, we saw only animals and tiny clusters of dwellings where people were baffled by our presence and were still kind enough to offer us yak butter tea in their homes. We were so lucky with the weather here, but we did dodge some storms over the next couple of days. And you can feel in the air how unpredictable this climate can be and how tough you have to be to live here. In Tibetan villages, you will see these neatly stacked brown discs on top of all the houses. They're actually yak poo, carefully collected, shaped, and dried during the summer, and a vital source of fuel during the winter. This is high above the tree line, and there's no wood for cooking or heating your home. And if you're wondering, it actually smells quite nice when it burns, like hay.
No, actually.
Level 6. Feeling pretty dizzy, to be honest with you. I'm also super fucking tired. I think we've been at like around 5,000 meters altitude now for probably, I don't know, nearly a week. I'm pretty fucking buggered, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is definitely the highest we've been. Bike struggling a fair bit, but we made it. It's all downhill.
Not only was the bike starting to struggle, but so was I.
How are you feeling?
So to help put this in perspective, this is a topographic map of Asia showing the elevation of the Tibetan plateau. And this is roughly where Tibet is, about 2.2 times the size of France, and bigger than Texas and California combined. And we're riding from one side to the other, never dropping below 4,000 meters altitude for weeks on end. For somebody who grew up by the sea, I was in uncharted territory. And the only real solution to this problem is to go down in altitude, which is not an option here.
We had planned to take a few days off the bike to do some hiking, but the doctor in the small clinic in Dachen prescribed rest and oxygen and I think dried goat meat for Tom. So I was on my own and on foot. Mount Kailash is considered one of the holiest sites in Buddhism, and it's so revered that it has never been summited. The Kora, or pilgrimage, around the mountain racks up 52 kilometers over 3 days and peaks at 5,600 meters. It's believed that a circuit of the mountain can remove a lifetime of sin. The most devout perform the pilgrimage by lying fully flat between each step. But for me, just putting one foot in front of the other was difficult enough. I ate and slept at the pilgrim shelters and spent my downtime watching the marmots and the yaks and the cowboys.
Hello.
Wow.
They're white butter. They have two different colors. One of yellow, one of white.
Like most Tibetans, this restaurant owner was a really lovely guy, but we couldn't figure out why he had so proudly collected these yak poos. And we didn't ask.
We've now come so far south and west that we can see the border of India. And this is where we had another huge change in landscape. We suddenly found ourselves amongst these otherworldly rock formations called the Earth Forest by local people.
At first, we started to notice these small caves just next to the side of the road. But after further inspection and sending the drone up, this is more than village-like dwellings. This is huge complexes and cities and kingdoms carved into the stone, integrated into the landscape. This is the ruins of the Gurga civilization.
This was once a thriving Tibetan kingdom, and much like Pompeii or the Mayan civilization, it was actually sort of cut down at the height of its prosperity, leaving these incredible ruins that we honestly had no idea even existed until we came to Tibet. And it's one of the most remarkable places I've ever been.
These ruins have been abandoned by everyone except a handful of monks since the 1630s. And if you're anything like me and spend your time daydreaming about exploring ancient lost civilizations, well, this is the real deal. We honestly could have spent days exploring this fascinating place, but we had a plane to catch, and one last high pass to conquer. Which brings us back here.
We're on our way to a little town called Gar, which will be actually our last stop in Tibet.
After taking this shot, it sort of just hit us. It's like we could see the finish line and our legs just gave up. We just took on some of the highest roads on the roof of the world, and it floored us.
night they will be at house.
Oh, 2 days.
Yeah.
The bike is going to Kashgar without us, and we should beat it by about a day. We've got a flight tomorrow noon, and the van driver says he thinks he will take about 2 days to reach Kashgar. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I don't mind it. The nail, I guess you're not supposed to eat because it's very sharp.
Really? I fucking ate the nail first thing.
Although we would much prefer to be riding through it, it was interesting to see the forbidden land of Aksai Chin from above, and to watch the mountains melting away into the vast desert of East Turkestan, or as it's now known, Xinjiang province.
Easy.
This footage is taken close to midnight because, fun fact, China only has one time zone and it gets dark very late at night in the west. We were also surprised to learn that it's the same time zone as our home in Perth.
After a short but pleasant stop in Kashgar, we're left with a wanting to come back one day. But for now, it's off to Pakistan. 2 days ride away and into the mountains.
We're leaving very overloaded. This is the most stuff I've ever had on the bike. It was time to leave China, and for some reason the process is much more stringent than entering. The whole bike was x-rayed and everything had to be checked twice.
So we're about to leave China now. There's a bit of a no man's land gap in between, and they give you this like big fucking like tracker, I guess, to make sure that you're not going to try to run away in between that meantime and go start a new life in the mountains or something. I don't know, but pretty serious bit of kit.
We're about to cross the Kundra Pass. This is the highest land border crossing in the world at 4,700 meters. But to be honest, after our time in Tibet, this feels like a walk in the park.
Our 32 days in China have been incredible and exhausting. Getting into Pakistan really felt like a chance to relax a little and take it easy. But that didn't end up happening, not at all. And that's a story for another day. If you've made it this far, we love you. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.